Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within. Find your own voice. Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Good afternoon, my name is Nomsa Clara Mncube. I am the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ngosi Talk Show. So I'm your host today, and I have one of the speakers today, Carole Anne Cooper. Could you please introduce yourself to our audience, Carole, please?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Carole Anne, and as the Writing Facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they experience free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about from my own journey of unlocking the writer within. So yes, I'm Carole Anne, the Writing Facilitator, unlocking the writer within, and really happy to be here today with you, Nomsa.
Thank you so much, Carole Anne. So today we're going to do interview with Carole Anne. We're going to find out what she does as a writing facilitator, and basically go deep to understand her work, and those who are watching, if they want to write their books, how they can go about it and the steps that they need to take. So, Carole Anne, you say all of this has come about from your own journey of unlocking the writing within. Can you explain more about this, please, to our audience?
Yeah, the journey actually started. I was a teacher, and I was a maths teacher. And what happened was that my own daughter was having struggles with learning, and I knew that she was more intelligent than was being brought out from her, and she became this really angry, rebellious child who I didn't know anymore, and who was saying, I don't want to sit any of my exams because I'm going to fail them all. And I literally had a 1-minute conversation with somebody. I'd popped into a health food, a natural therapist clinic. And I went, I'd heard about Brain Gym, but I thought it was a course. And to me, that was too expensive, and it didn't seem to fit with what I wanted. But I happened to see a leaflet, and I said to the receptionist, can you have, just a one-to-one with somebody about this? And she said, yes. And here is David Hubbard right now. And he literally popped out to pick something up for one of his clients in that moment. I mean, talk about synchronicity. And I had a 1-minute conversation with him, told him what I was observing about my daughter, and he said, I can help. Those 3 words just changed everything for her, changed my life as well. And so I booked her an appointment, and within the space of 5 months, I literally saw my daughter change from somebody who was angry, rebellious, and not wanting to sit her exams to somebody who was happy, confident, sat them all, passed them. And then a year later was saying to me, Mum, I wish I could do my GCSEs again because I know I could do better. And she'd been doing another course through this year and was getting merits and distinctions in her work. So I just needed to know more. And so I then trained myself in Brain Gym, and the difference that it made with my students was phenomenal, you know, but I hit this mountain of resistance trying to take it back into the school. The students were great, but I couldn't explain what was happening, what I was doing. And yeah, things just then changed from there. I then needed to step out and go on this journey of personal development, self-exploration, and training in Brain Gym, educational kinesiology, NLP, Brandon Bay's The Journey, and a lot of other complementary fields as well. So that's where it all started.
Do you mind me asking, what is Brain Gym anyway?
Brain Gym
Yes, because somebody who doesn't know, I don't know it either.
Brain Gym are activities that help to take away the stress of learning, and they help give you a different perspective on things. They take that stress out, but what they form the sort of the basis of educational kinesiology. And all of this came about through a guy called Paul Dennison, who was doing some research in 1969 about how he could support people that were challenged, you know, with learning, and through his own learning challenges as well. And he just explored movement. And then found he found kinesiology, which is about the body and movement. And then from there he developed Brain Gym and educational kinesiology. And educational kinesiology is about re-educating the body to move in a more efficient way. Because, as you know, education comes from the Latin educare, to draw out. So it draws out from within the learning. And obviously kinesiology is about movement. So it's looking at how you're moving and then finding more efficient ways of moving.
It sounds very, very interesting. Is there a website when we finish our audience, if they want to look for it, if they can go to the website and have a look?
Yes, there is. I think it's braingym.org.uk is the UK one. It comes from.
I think if you can think about it, then when we finish, you can put it at the bottom.
Put it into the
video. Yeah, I think that will really, really help.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing that you actually found a solution for your daughter, and in the process, you found your purpose at the same time. It's very exciting, is it?
It is. I mean, I never thought I would ever leave teaching, because I love teaching. I mean, I love maths, and I loved teaching, and I love that, bringing it out, you know, helping students to go, oh yes, got it, you know, and find that enjoyment and that ability within themselves. But this was another level. It was like that glass ceiling that I always seem to find I would take students to. Brain Gym helped me to break through that glass ceiling. You know, it was amazing. And so, yeah, and it's helped me tremendously. I can say it completely changed my life.
Amazing, Carole, because sometimes, we found that we know what we want to do in life, but it's those little things that we do, and being able to have the courage to ask. If you didn't have the courage to ask when you saw the leaflet, you would have just walked out, but you asked, and guess what? You came out with your daughter's destiny and your own destiny as well being sorted out. It's a beautiful story. I love that.
Yeah.
So where did the journey begin? And now you've got your leaflet. You've spoken to the guy. So when did the journey begin?
Sorry, which journey? Because the whole thing,
Being a
the
writing
journey sort of,
facilitator, when you made a decision that I'm gonna go for this.
that came out of it, really, becoming the writing facilitator, because I hated writing. I hated words. I found writing a nightmare, to be honest. And I never understood how I ever passed my English language O-level, the exam that we took when we were 16. Because I found it hard work. I found that words never cooperated. They never seemed to come when I wanted them to. I knew what I felt, but it was really hard to put it into words. And to sit and write something, put it together, yeah, you can see I'm gone. I'm just gone. My mind's gone. Think about writing, no, it's gone. But you give me some maths to do and I'm there, and it's like, yes, I can. Even if it, there's a challenge, it's like, oh, I don't think I know this right now, but I will sit with it, puzzle it out. And there's such a joy with maths that I just loved. And so what happened is I trained in these other complementary fields and was working on myself at the same time. What happened was, there was one day I was sat on a boat on San Francisco Bay. And I remember looking up at the mountainside and going, oh, that mansion up there, that'll be mine one day. And I heard this little voice in my head, oh yeah, and how you can afford that then? Quite a few £1 million. It's like totally out of your reach. And then I heard this voice in my head really loud, you're going to write a book. And I was like, what, me? Write a book? No. How's that going to work? How am I going to do that? No, that's not possible. And then I sat and I just thought, well, okay, so what's the book going to be about? How am I going to get this written? What, who's it going to be for? And so it just set up that inquiry in my mind. And it was always there about, well, what's the book going to be? So I think that was the start point of me even thinking about writing a book. And along the way, I actually sat an English language A-level. It's a 2-year course. It's the advanced level course that we usually do from 16 to 18. After you've done O-levels, you do what we call A-level courses. I did A-level maths because that's what I loved, and that was, I enjoyed that. But English language A-level was completely off the radar for me, something I thought I was not capable of doing. Well, as I say, this sort of showed up. This was about 15, 16 years ago now. And so I was in my 50s, sort of turned about 50. And I just thought, oh, let me have a go at this. And I did. I mean, okay, every week I was asking the same questions of the lecturer. What does this word mean? What does that word mean? And sitting and having to really question the lecturer to get the answers that I wanted. But I found myself enjoying that challenge, and I passed it. I was absolutely amazed that I actually passed it. So for me, that was an acknowledgement that, okay, there's something here that I can work with English language. I can work with writing. And I use the tools and techniques that I've been trained in to support me in actually passing that exam, getting to grips with what I needed to write. So that's where the journey sort of started and carried on. And it was only, and I actually found along the way that I was helping people with their writing. It wasn't a conscious thought of, oh, I'm going to be, you know, help people with writing. You know, people, they just came out as, oh, could you help me with this? And it was a piece of writing, and it was like, okay. And then somebody else, and didn't think anything of it really. But a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, oh, maybe that's where I'm meant to be, who I'm meant to be working with, and with people helping with their writing. Because up until that point, I was really not clear about my business. It was like, I knew I liked helping people to move through stuckness, to help them to succeed. So it's always about movement. But what specifically, you know, when you've got business, it's like, well, who's your target audience? What's your niche? And I'm going, oh, I don't know. I just know I help people move through stuckness. But then when I started focusing more in on, well, actually writer's block, and I set up a meetup group and ran that for about 3 months. And the group is still there. I haven't done much more with it, but again, I can pick that up. I think that was about 5 years ago, and I had amazing success with the few people that turned up. I mean, there was one guy, he was dyslexic, and he had his master's dissertation. That it was his final deadline he'd got, and he was wanting to get this done. And he came every week, and he got it done, he got it in, and he passed. It was absolutely amazing, you know. So, and there were a few others that came and got varying other results from it. So I think I sort of then went on from there, and then created my own signature program and methodology, and realized, well, what is it that I do with people? What are the key components of what I work with? And now I've got, you know, put together a program that I can work through with people.
It's an amazing story, Carole Anne. I think because you're already a teacher, and you had that in you, but you didn't realize that you had that in you. I think it's a gift that was already there. It's always been there, but because of sometimes the fear and our confidence as well, because when you talk about how it just came about natural, and you realize actually it was there natural. So I think that is amazing how life works. And also, anyone who is watching now, when you were a teacher teaching, you had no idea that you will end up being a writing facilitator. I think you in your own, basically you just thought, I'm a teacher, there is no way that I can be anything, and look at you now. So it shows that we are capable of doing amazing things, as long we are willing to actually take that step and learn new things as well, and unlearn some other things as well, because being a maths teacher is a very exciting job, because everywhere you go, you want to apply for a job, you need to have maths. So you were already doing something amazing with the children, and you find this passion that you can actually help more people, which is more amazing. So thank you for taking that step and become who you want to become. So you always talk about being a writing facilitator. What do you mean by unlocking the writer within? Because were you not already a writer when you say unlocking the writer within?
Yeah, I'd just like to go back to something you were saying about, yes, I was a maths teacher and that's what I thought I was going to be. You never know where life's going to take you. Like things open up and there's all these twists and turns. And yeah, I never ever thought I'd be here as the writing facilitator, helping to unlock the writer within other people. And what I mean by that is, I never classified myself as a writer. Okay, yes, of course, you've got to write things. I had to write essays when I was at school and when I was at college. But I never classed myself as a writer. And I think what I've done is unlock a deeper innate ability to write, to find the words, to allow the words to come out, for me to explore them. Because I always used to say that words didn't move. It's like they had no movement, they were dead on the page, and they often go into a void, never to be seen again. Well, through a lot of the trainings that I've done and the processes that I've worked on myself, that's changed. I don't say that anymore. Words now come to me more easily. What I find is that I'm now enjoying exploring words. When I was at college, my friend Sue and I, we used to spend hours deciphering the title of the essays. And we'd go through the dictionary looking up word after word. And I go, oh, when we eventually deciphered it, it was very simple wording. And we'd say, well, why can't they just write it simply, because it took us hours to decipher. And I hated that. But you know what? Now, I really love exploring words. I will look them up. I'll Google them and see what do they mean, and then look at the synonyms and go and find other aspects of them and ways of saying it so that they actually come to life now. Because for me, numbers live and dance and they just do their thing. I can think of a number and then see lots of other numbers around it being multiplied or subtracted or whatever to make that number. They live, they come to me instantly. Words now are coming more quickly. I nearly said words didn't do the same, but that's in the past. Things are changing. And so it's about unlocking that ability that we have with words. I now realize that there's a whole bank of words within me. We've all got access to them. And it's amazing actually how we can put words together. You might not think that your grammar is very good, but actually you'd be amazed at how good it can be when you really unlock that ability within yourself. And it's about unlocking your own voice, your way of saying something. And yes, you can then, if somebody says, well, actually, this isn't quite grammatically correct, you'll be able to listen and pick that up and work with that. But it will still have your voice in there. And that's what's important, because it's your soul that actually has a message or a story to say. And it's about giving your soul its voice so it can really speak out and be heard, So did that answer your question about unlocking the writer within?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I like it when you say it is your voice, because that's what we do here at Ngozi Talk Show. Find your own voice. I think that is amazing when when you help your clients and you help them be able to find their own voice. And when you speak from within or you write from within, I think it is an amazing thing that it's a gift that no one can take it away from you, because you are able to actually you teach them with your own voice, and then they adapt, they use their own voice, and they are able to publish their books and say, I was helped by Carole Anne. And I think that is an amazing thing for somebody. Basically, what you do, I think it is amazing because you are helping people to unleash that power within so they can be who they want to be. They want to be writers, and people don't believe in themselves, but you are able to say, okay, I have your back. I'm here if you need me until the end. Do you stay with them until they publish their books, or what happened?
I'm now working on teaming up with people that do publishing and editing, because I only do the writing, because if something's not written, you can't publish it anyway.
Okay.
So really my focus is on getting it written, getting that manuscript written. But yes, I'm teaming up with some other people so we can create a complete package and help people to move on through that process of actually getting it published.
Are you connected
Sorry?
to Brenda? Because Brenda, I think they do publishing. Are you connected to Brenda? Brenda
Yes,
yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
I am, and realise who she is now. And I've got a few other people that I've connected with.
Okay. Awesome. That is amazing.
Coffee time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Is there any...
And that was something that was amazing as well, because what happened, was that I kept saying, no, all I do is the writing. Then I realised that people want to know about the publishing. I'm not offering a complete package here. And so when I started putting out there that I need to know editors or people that publish, all of a sudden I now find myself connecting with people who do that. They started coming in my path, and I've had conversations with them, as well. And yes, I realized Brenda through somebody else who'd been part of one of her books. It was like, oh, is that the same Brenda? So yeah, I just love synchronicity and the way people are showing up in my life. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. Is there any steps or writing program, and why and what are these steps as well?
Yeah, I just, one thing that came to mind is that when I said I never thought to myself as a writer, a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to write as part of a community book project. There was this lady, Donna Kozik in America, who does the community book project books. And I found I wrote a piece for 2 of her books. And then she did a bigger book called 2020 Vision, which is this one here. And I've got 5 pieces in this piece, in this book, and 2 of them she gave awards to. So all of a sudden I then had to rethink myself and think, well, actually I am a writer and I'm published. And it's like, how did that happen? So again, you never know who's going to show up in your life to support your journey. And so what are some of the steps that I've gone through and have put into a program, which I call Let's Write? It's a 7-step program. And what I do is, obviously, I like to find out where you're at with your writing. And so you can then start to get to realize where you're at and what your writing experience has been. And then I look at your limiting beliefs, your fears, because there will be things that hold you back. That's the sort of the block that are there. So I work on those and help to take those away. So, I've had a lot of limiting beliefs and fears around writing myself. Again, it's like, well, who's going to believe me? Who's going to want to read what I've got to write? And actually, have I got enough to write? Can I put enough into this? And as I said, I never thought myself as a writer. I kept saying to people, no, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. And then I had to sort of, the other year, I was like, come on, Carole Anne, stop it. You are a writer. Put that coat on, So now I'm going, okay, I am a writer. And I can feel that is becoming much more solid within me. So I help you sort of move beyond those blocks. The other thing is about being able to write more freely. And so I actually go back to the basics of writing and look at and use handwriting, because I've realized there are some steps that are missing when we first learn to write with our handwriting. And so I go back to that and build those blocks. And that just doing those makes a huge difference. And then the other thing is about being able to fully express yourself. And what I realized is that there's an inner child who is still trying to learn to write and hasn't made that transition to where you're at, where you're trying to write so others can learn from you. So of course there's that conflict inside. So I help you to make that transition completely, work with that inner child so that they can then grow up and realize, oh yes, I can write and I am writing. And then there's tapping in to your emotions and being able to work with the emotions. And because that's a very powerful place to write from. And most of us sort of hold back from going there if there's something that's a bit emotive or it's going to make you be a bit vulnerable. But actually, that's where you need to go. And you need to be able to be with those emotions and then write from that place, because that's what will connect with your reader or potential client. And then looking at your why. That's really important, because that helps keep you on track. Why are you doing this, And then the very last step, which wasn't there in the beginning, and it wasn't till I was talking to someone about my program and the steps that I'd got, that I realized they were struggling with getting their book completed. It was their second book, but there were some fears and that were holding them back, so they couldn't complete it. And I realized one of my biggest things that I've been working on was about completion and getting things complete. So all of a sudden, there's now 7 steps. And the last step is about overcoming those blocks to completing your work and what's in the way. And so you can actually then get it completed. And I think that's where, when I started working on that with myself, that I realized what I had to offer wasn't complete in itself, and opened up into wanting, joining in with other people that could take the whole journey forward for my clients, like with the editing and the publishing. So that's the 7 steps that I of my program, and that I work with. And I do that on a 1-to-1, or I've got a 12-month program that brings that in. I've got sort of some workshops. I've got a 3-hour workshop. I've got a 2-day writing retreat as well. Yeah, so it's been really exciting piecing it all together and finally saying, yes, this is my methodology.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I like the fact that you work with your clients, limiting beliefs. You deal with the limiting beliefs and fears, because those are the biggest issues in life if you want to start something. And also the transition as well, being able to accept that this is who you're becoming, basically helping your clients to say, wow, I'm becoming a writer now, and to basically break away from their past and what they know. Basically they are rewriting their own story and working with that inner child within. I think it is amazing, because when you are writing, basically you are writing, everything comes from within. Everything that you do, it comes from within, and you have to create it. You have to be a creative person and working with your emotions as well, and tapping into those emotions. I think that is amazing. I'm looking forward to write my book one day. I think it is amazing. And finding that big why as well, I think it is very, very important as well, like you are saying. It's very, very important for somebody to actually ask themselves, why am I doing this? Why do I need to complete this? Why do I need to get the results that I want? I think it is very, very important. And also to start something and finish it. That is amazing. That is really, really amazing. Have you ever had any clients coming to you and they don't complete their writing, or have you had any luck so far?
Yeah, there was one lady that did my 6 month. It was a 6 month program. Then I've now extended it to 12 months to bring in some other, these other aspects. But she worked through the program, and she'd started writing her book, and had sort of floundered a bit, got so far and then stopped. She worked through my program, and she attended a couple of my writing days, which I did in person then, because this was not last year, it was the year before. It was July of that year right through to sort of January of last year. So it was before all this lockdown happened. But yeah, she worked through the program. She attended some of my writing days, and she got her manuscript complete. And then she was able to go back and look at the editing and the publishing. And at the beginning of this year, she got it published. It's now published. It's out there. It's like, yay! She did it, and it's supporting her business, because it's all about, what she does within her business, but it comes from her heart. And she said when she was doing the program that she found that she was rewriting parts of what she'd already written, and it was coming, the voice in it was changing, and it was becoming much more authentic and true to herself. And she was able to go into those emotional places and memories and write from there. So it really gave the book much more power, and yeah, so it's written, it's out there. So it was really exciting. You're muted. And this is what I'm all about. It's unmuting people's stories.
So that is amazing, Carole Anne, what you do. So who do you work with and why?
What I started off as just women who had a business, and I sort of said, well, we're over sort of 50. But what I've realized now, actually, it's soul-driven entrepreneurs. So that encompasses, because I have, there's men there as well who are interested. So it is that soul-driven entrepreneur, someone who's got a business. They've got a message in their heart. And this is what I always kept saying. It's this message that they've come here to share with the world. They want to make a difference. And their story is what will make a difference. And it will help to also create momentum in their business. Their business has got so far, but they know that this book or their story is the next thing that will help to elevate it and move their business, to say, create that momentum in it. But they're holding back. And I've realized that it's because it's their story. This is the one that is the most difficult for people to write, because it is emotional, because it makes them vulnerable. They're exposing themselves in their story. And so that's why I've realized it's taken me all these years to get to this point, by working on myself so that I can actually hold that space. I've gone to some really deep sort of level of healing so that I can sit with any emotion that's present and just hold that space and give that cradle of support so that they can be with the emotion and write, rather than being taken over by it and just losing themselves again within it, And so, because I can now if I feel myself being sort of reacting to that emotion that's there, I can then put that to one side and still hold that space. Use the tools that I've got to just hold that space. And then I'll go and work on whatever it was that showed up. Because if it's triggering me, then there's something in me to work with. And I'll work with that. So again, I'm just that clear, open space that can hold. So yes, I say I work with soul-driven entrepreneurs who are here, come here to share a message with the world, to make a difference. And their soul is crying out for their voice to be heard now. They've been here many lifetimes. And now is the time that their voice needs to be heard. We're at such an important point within our evolution, you know, with humanity, with ascension, not ascension, with consciousness, you know, rising and expanding. And so the time is now to shine. Step up and let your soul have the voice and to share that message that you've come to share. So yeah, that's who I work with. And it sometimes feels, oh, you know, it's a bit sort of scary. I think that's the belief in myself. Can I really do this? Well, actually, yes, I can. And I have so many people now telling me, you know, I've got testimonials, people who I've worked with who have been to my workshops. They keep saying, yes, that is what you do. And so it's taken a lot for me to really believe in myself. That is what I do. And that's the joy that I have in seeing that shine and people going, oh yes, and hear those soul voices singing, you know, singing and feel that lightness. Because it's Maya Angelou that says, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story within you. So just, you know, that heaviness that might be there, that it's always been there. It's time to release it. Let your soul find their voice and share the story and make that difference that you've come here to make within the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carole Anne, for what you do. You know, when you tell your story, I think it's an amazing way to tell your story, writing everything, because there are so many people who have never had that chance to actually tell their story. Some people, they go to the grave without fulfilling their purpose, but everyone has an amazing story to tell. So thank you so much for what you do. It is amazing. I like the way you say, when you say you help them to write that untold story, to unlock that writer within, because it's amazing. I love music as well, but for me, I communicate with music. But when you say with writing, you know, you can. I'm sure you can sit. You sit there. Do you talk to yourself sometimes?
Yes, all the time.
That's what, because you are an artist, basically. When you a writer is when you're teaching people to write, basically you have to be artistic, you have to be creative. So, and yeah, you talk to yourself a lot as well. So
Yeah.
so I can familiarize with you as well. So that is amazing. It's an amazing job, because you can look at the businesses and people telling their stories. And you know, when I started my business, it was hard for me to find somebody like everything that I wanted to write. Even though you can write, it's tough to actually put the words right. So you need that someone to actually help you, professional, to actually write whatever you want to write, whether is it your website content. So you need that person that you're always gonna need somebody to help you, a good writing person to help you to actually put the words properly. So I can relate to other business owners who come and find you for writing. It is amazing. It's amazing because you actually you create things, thoughts. So as a writing facilitator, you basically unleash those thoughts that people don't want to confront. You have to face them, put them in writing, make people uncomfortable. That is amazing. I like being uncomfortable. I like to be with someone that makes me uncomfortable. So that is really, really amazing. So I understand you have a virtual writing retreat coming up. Can you please tell us more about it?
Yes, it's something that I've put together, and it is something that is it's going to be something I'm going to do more often. So it will be an ongoing retreat that will repeat. But it's about, I call it the MOVE method writing retreat. And MOVE, so it's MOVE, is the acronym for what my methodology comes under. So the M stands for, managing your emotions. The O is about orientating yourself. The V is about getting velocity, with your writing, and then the E is about energizing it. So all of my steps fit under one of those headings, and this retreat also fits within that. So the retreat is going to explain my methodology, but also take you through the foundations, because there are foundations to writing a book. And so this is a 5-day free training that will help you build the foundational framework for any of your writing that you need to do. Because I realized that I was putting it together for a book, but I realized actually I go through these steps for any piece of writing that I'm going to do. So it'll be purely, it'll be a very experiential training. It helps you to understand and experience the way I work, because a lot of people, they think, oh, you were a maths teacher, now you're doing writing, so you must be doing it how we used to do it at school. You're an English teacher. And it's like, no, it couldn't be further from that. What I do, the experience that you have is completely different to anything that you've experienced before in helping you to write. Yes, you do some writing, but you do other things as well. So it's not, I don't teach, I share exercises and activities with you, and you experience that unlocking for yourself. So yeah, we're going to build the foundation, foundational framework for your writing. So it's like it's a starting place for you to reconnect, because maybe you've lost connection with your book, maybe you've lost direction. This will help you to reconnect, find direction, and also give you support and a way forward. I can help you suggest ways forward, maybe how we can work together, or what's next for you, along your journey, that would help you to then continue your writing journey. Because it's an adventure, and I love adventures, love exploring. Okay, so what's next? We've done this bit, but not that bit. What's next, So yeah, so this is, at the moment, this is coming up next week, and it will be repeated. It's something I'm going to repeat probably once every couple of months, to help people to get to know what I'm doing, to just have that experience of building their foundation, being able to just carry on with their writing, you know.
That's amazing. Basically, you are giving it for free so that people can see the style that you use for writing, and then if they want to take it further, they can just do a paid program to actually take it further, which is, I think, is a good idea. Because like what you say, when you say to people, I used to be a math teacher, people will think, oh, she's gonna sit me down and and make me do the work and things like that, but you do it in a fun way. So that is a good idea to actually show people, this is who I am, this is what I do. If you love what I do, you can join my paid program. I think that is really, really amazing. That is a great idea. If anyone is watching, if you want to actually start your writing journey, begin it, you can contact Carole Anne and find out about her program, please, and start that journey off. You don't have to pay, like she says. Is it 5 days?
It's 5 days. It might be an extra day, a bonus day, but it is a 5-day program, and there's a possibility of a bonus day.
Okay, yeah, like she says, 5 days. Find your way if you can, if writing is what you want, or if you want to, in those 5 days also you are checking out with Carole Anne if you guys can connect together, because as a writing facilitator and the writer, you have to have intimacy. Basically, I'm not saying in relationship, I'm saying you have to collect properly your emotions. So you have to be able to collect. So, which is it's a great idea for you to say to your clients, listen, this is what I do. And just put it out there so they can make that decision. So thank you so much. So if people want to get to know more about what you do, what do you suggest they do? Where can they find you?
They can find me. I have a Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. So if you'd like to join my Facebook group, you can find out more details there. And obviously I'll be sharing tips and things with you. And but also, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'll put the link for that as well. Because so, it depends whether someone's on Facebook or not. But if you want to connect with me, either on LinkedIn or join my Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. And actually what I found with helping people write, because some people may think, well, I'm a writer. You can always go deeper. And I have had a couple of people on my workshops who love writing, are really great writers. And what they found was that something shifted and opened up with their writing. They went deeper with it, so again, it's being open to something new, and that maybe there's somewhere you could go that you've never been before with your writing, whether you're a new writer opening up to writing, or you've been writing for a long time. There's something magical out there, and that's what I say. You never know where the journey is going to take you.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carole Anne. If you guys are listening, please, you can get in touch with Carole Anne on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Writing a book is an amazing journey. I've never written my own book, but I enjoy it when I do my own things, like when I'm writing my work for my business, or when I'm working with my clients and writing their story. They tell me their life story. I think it's amazing. If I was to go deep, I think I'll find that exciting, basically. So if you want to write your book and you have that voice that says you cannot be a writer, don't worry about that voice. That voice is always there trying to scare you off. But you have to look at your life and find that big why Carole Anne was talking about. So what was your big why that made you actually go for what you wanted, Carole Anne? I forgot to ask that.
Wow. My why I always realized was actually stemmed from my daughter struggling at school. But when I started to dive into this, I realized my brother struggled at school as well. And I always remember my dad trying to help him, you know. And my brother's not stupid. You know, where he is now and what he's studied and what he's achieved is amazing. But you wouldn't have seen that at school. And so I really have got this, we're capable of far more than we realize. And for me, somebody who keeps putting themselves down and saying, I can't do this, I'm no good. No, stop it. You know, so my why really is about helping people to really understand that there's more to them than they believe. There's more to their ability than they believe. And that actually anything is possible. So there's I'm hearing the words, your why sits here in your heart. And it's this feeling that I have that drives me. And that's what keeps me going. Even in the sort of darkest moments where I'm thinking, oh, I can't do this anymore. There's something there. It's no, you have to keep going, you know, because it's my heart. It feels, people don't need to go through what they're going through at the level of despair that they go through. There's always a way out. And I think it's that, you see, that's what our soul story is about, our messages. Everybody's got a message that says, you don't need to sit in this darkness. There is a way out. And that was something that came to me many years ago when I was in a very dark place. And I was just cradling one of my my grandchildren, just as a baby. And this poem just came to me, this thought was, there's always a way to get out of the dark. No matter how black, no matter how stark, there's always a way to get out of the dark. And there is some more to that, which I will publish at some point. I keep saying, I've shared it a few times, that much of it. But those few lines were what kept me going for a long time. There's always a way to get out of the dark. And I would sit with that and think, okay, there's a way out, there's a way out. So if you find yourself saying, I've tried everything, no. Stop right there, because that stops you finding anything more. What you need to say is, I've tried many things and there are many more out there that I could find and have a go at, because something will shift. Yeah. So yes, there's always a way. There's always a way out. And remember, what you're going through is a lesson. They're here. It's here for you to learn from. And when you can learn that lesson, things change. You move on. The light starts shining. It's like, oh, yeah. So it's just remember, life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. So, yeah, it's getting those messages out is what's there for me. That's my why.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If there's anyone who is watching right now, any words of encouragement you'd like to give them, please?
Yeah, just go into your heart and just remember those words that I've said, that poem. There's always a way to get out of the dark. No matter how black, no matter how stark, there's always a way to get out of the dark. And just keep going. You know, pick yourself up, find that resilience and bounce back again, because it is worth it in the end. It's amazing who then shows up in your life. You know, the people that I've met on this journey, I'm just like, wow. I am so grateful for this journey. I'm so grateful for that conversation. I'm grateful for all the people that have shown up. I'm grateful for, you know, everything that I've been through, and finding gratitude in the darkest moment of what you're experiencing helps lift you up, because feeling gratitude helps you feel happy and brings happiness into your life. So find the gratitude is what I say. Yeah.
I like it when you say there's always a way. That is amazing. There is always a way, even if you like what you say, even if you find yourself in those darkest moments, there's always a way. Carole Anne says, if you are looking for a way out, every problem is temporal. If you haven't found your purpose, find your purpose by getting in touch with Carole Anne and unleash that writing within. She calls it unlock it. So please, thank you so much to our audience who are watching. We are here Monday to Friday at Gossip Talk Show. If you are watching Carole Anne's message and you actually love the message, her interview, press the heart button and share it and get in touch with her. If you really, really want to move forward with your writing, or you can get in touch with her through Gossip Talk Show, or you can follow her on LinkedIn or Facebook. She has a group and she also has her personal page. So there's always a way to step up and follow your dreams. So thank you so much, Carole Anne, for today, and live with grace, everyone, and God bless you.